Welcome to another episode, everyone. Suge Knight's son, Lil Suge, look just like him, has a message for Snoop Doggy Dogg. Check this out.
That like the source of words, speech. Like, oh, he's just like this because when we heard, like, all up in the videos, you going to the red room, we gonna fuck you up. You better have my money, you owe. Like, you formulate who you think this person is. Not saying that he's not one of those things. Like he's done some things that's like, should. But when he started speaking on that like his collect calls, or even when he came and did a few calls on my show, the Love and Listening show, it humanized him and showed him like, oh, this is him as a father. Oh, this is him as a big homie. Like the collect calls, I feel a lot of people connected with him because they're like, wow, Suge sounds like a big homie of mine, or like a big brother of mine. Like he has a lot of wisdom. He's not just spewing shit. Yeah. So, oh yeah.
All right. So
I'm sure those calls did humanize him, and I'm sure Suge, he has good parts about him, like all human beings, and he's been scrutinized and demonized in the media, and has a certain persona, and individuals hold a certain perception of Suge Knight, but things are not always what they seem. We heard Big U and Big U's son speak, and these individuals are human beings who get caught up in the lifestyle and the environment as well. But again, this is little Suge Knight, and this is Wild Mogul's TV perspective right there. Wild Mogul's TV perspective. Shout out to them, Wild Mogul's TV perspective. Go check them out. Man, let's check out what little Suge Knight has to say. So far, seems like a bright and intelligent young fella.
It's been a few years since Snoop Dogg took helm of the brand Death Row Records.
Right.
Do you feel the aura of what your father built is being respected, or is it being turned into a commercialized version of the original?
It's definitely being turned into a commercial, commercial, whatever you just said. It sounded perfect what you just said.
Commercialized version.
But that's just what it is, though. That's a perspective, All I know is that, my father created one of the greatest labels of the West Coast, created the founding fathers of all hip-hop, Dre, Snoop, Pac. You got those Suge up there, even though he didn't make no tracks, he executive produced those tracks.
Yes.
Mary J. Blige, he helped
Pound.
Dog Pound, you know what I'm saying? That's the difference between, like, those labels and other labels. And he didn't start it out with drug money. I know they got the Harry O type of shit, but it's like, that was all a scandal just to put Death Row in the same category as like the other labels. I don't want to say those other labels' names because we don't want any lawyers coming after us, because we know how our words have power. You know what I'm saying? So if I say it, it's gonna be something. But we all know the truth. However,
no, we don't. What is the truth? Because they were saying indeed that Harry O's money started Death Row. Harry O was, of course, an OG member who had a lot of money from whatever game he was in, found himself incarcerated. Suge Knight needing money to start Death Row Records, and word is Harry O gave him the money. There have been documentaries on this. Harry O said as much. Harry O's wife ended up suing Suge Knight and Death Row to retrieve some of this monies, and they won the lawsuit. And that's why Suge Knight ended up filing for bankruptcy. There's a whole thing about that.
we never been mad at Snoop. I never been mad at Snoop of anything like that. Do what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? He never had that. He never built that company. He made records, but after the 5 years, he ain't done nothing with it. We just seeing what we see. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't talking shit or whatever. It's just what it is. So, but record labels, you know, they're very outdated. It's not like.
Hey, okay. So he said, you know, because he asked him, what do you feel about Snoop Dogg owning Death Row Records now? It's the record that his father built from the ground up. However he built it. It was his company, his record company, and he built it, and he had some brilliance to build it. Yes, he used some force or brute force, allegedly, but he also had a lot of wisdom to build it and maintain it. Now, I don't know how much wisdom Suge Knight actually had, because to lose such a profitable enterprise, he could have been a first billionaire, really record executive from the ghetto. And instead, he ended up essentially going bankrupt and running everyone off and everything else. But he said that that Snoop Dogg, he didn't build the record company, that his father built the record company, Suge Knight, which we all know, but that Snoop Dogg has had the Death Row Records for 5 years now and has not done anything with it, is what he just said. I don't know. I mean, I guess I cannot really think of any artists that are on Death Row Records now, and that's popping or whatever, that's popular, and people are playing their music and they're having concerts or what have you. Let me know in the comments. I don't know. Perhaps there are some. I don't know about it.
What's the record label? Rockefeller Records is out here doing this shit. Like, it's still Rockefeller, but it's Rock Nation Management. And you know what I'm saying? So that's why you can't really just compare those two different eras, because it's drastically different. How to break an artist, all of that. It's not financially smart for record labels to maneuver how they used to maneuver for artists, because it's just a loss for them.
Let's discuss this Daz and Snoop beef, man.
See, you got Daz and Snoop beefing in Death Row Records, and that's not, Suge Knight has nothing to do with it. It's the same nigga shit. The same niggas. They can't get along without Suge. Now they really not get along with each other. So the truth is coming out. And I don't know, man. That's just, Snoop had Death Row since 2020, bro. It got acquired, right?
Yeah.
And nothing else happened. All the West Coast artists don't even respect them, because it's like, nigga, we got all this talent and you're not doing nothing. So my dad made the greatest label of all time within what, 2 years span?
Yeah.
Dude had it for 5 years and still haven't done nothing with it. Pathetic. And then Daz, he over here fighting over the publishing with Snoop. It's still the same nigga shit. So you sue my father, still got paid for it, went broke, and now you go back and you don't talk about Snoop?
But Daz is real smart for filing the Dog Pound, the Paul trademark.
Do you know why they filed the trademark? Because they follow Suge J. Knight, because Suge J. Knight trademarked Suge Knight. You know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes ain't that smart, bro. Don't give them that too much credit. Yeah. But it's like, I could have got Dog Pound too. I didn't want nothing to do with it, because it was already dead. It just not got revived. He trying to trademark just the Dog Pound Paul.
Yeah, because what happened, the Cleveland Browns owned the term Dog Pound, so Jazz got the loophole by registering the Paul, because Dog Pound, the word, is actually owned by the Cleveland Browns.
That's crazy. Yeah. See, there's different loopholes for everything, man. You go talk to your trademark attorney for that. And
dang, so he said he could have got the Dog Pound. I guess took over their enterprise, but he said he didn't want to because they were already dead in the water. But now we hear that Daz has trademarked the Paul, whatever. But yeah, Daz and Snoop have been going back and forth on the internet, beefing with one another over publishing rights, over money, over past deeds. And these individuals were once close, of course, for many years, and I'm sure that they will reconcile or what have you at some point. But right now they are indeed going back and forth. And Little Suge here is saying, you all like to blame Suge for everything that transpires there at Death Row or in the industry as a whole. He's in prison now. He has nothing to do with these individuals on the internet beefing and fighting with one another. What do you all have to say now is his point, I'm sure.
It's good. But however, back to, these slime ball ass niggas, stop, the West Coast gotta be saved. But the West Coast gotta be saved if they want to be saved too. So
slime balls.
I'll leave it at that.
I mean, was there any music so far that's come out of?
So, I mean, he came out at first saying like he didn't have a problem with Snoop, but he's pretty much changed his tone quickly in this interview. It is let it be known that he's a slime ball, and they're all slime balls, that he's had death row since 2020 and has done nothing with it. Oh, man.
Of death row that you.
I'm not too sure. Only thing I heard was him dissing my father, and that flopped too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He did another diss to Suge, and it's like, shut your bitch ass up. But he the only bitch ass nigga we see. That's free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Snoop a bitch.
Yeah.
Like when Draco the Ruler died, he was performing out there. He was the first nigga out of there. These young niggas don't respect Snoop, and that's why Snoop don't work with no young dudes.
Wow.
Damn, okay. Got some content. This is getting juicy. I ain't know he calls Snoop Dogg Beyond. Snoop Doggy Dogg. He said he was the first one out of there with the Draco the Ruler situation when he was unalived there at his concert. Whomever's concert. I guess Snoop was performing, whatever. But I mean, well, yeah. That's going to happen. And most people are not going to stand there and say, okay, now, kill me next. I mean, they're going to get the hell out of there. Run, jog, walk fast, hide under a car, whatever they can do. Everyone's going to do that for the most part. Although, I guess there were no gunshots. I don't recall. I know that Draco the Ruler was stabbed. But still, even whether guns going off or whatever the situation, there was a lot of commotion. Snoop probably didn't even know what was going on. Yeah, he gonna get up, he gonna get up out of there. What he gonna do? Stand there and fight? No, he out of there.
So that's just what it is. He ain't no boss. He ain't no gangster. He just a billboard for smoking.
Now, your father had a great relationship.
He ain't no boss. He ain't no gangster like my pops was. That's what he said. Snoop Doggy Dogg. You's all beat. Oh, man. Better not. 4Extra better not see this video. He loves Snoop Doggy Dogg. It might be a problem, little Suge. Then again, probably not. 4Extra and found his way back to No Jumper. You might as well come over here and barbecue with me, bro. If you can forgive Adam, certainly you can be all right with me, brother.
Relationship with Corrupt. Did you ever have a relationship with Corrupt?
Yeah, Corrupt was cool, but he had his own trials and tribulations. You know how things work. Mm-hmm. I think everybody from that Death Row era could have been in a lot better situation if Death Row wasn't strategically taken down.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Through fraud and all that. So that's why we seeing how
strategically taken down
now. So
who took Death Row down strategically? Oh man,
it's just like cliques of like who's right, who's wrong, who got money, who don't, all that mumbo jumbo. They all like almost 60 years old, 50 years old. I'm not worried about them. Wow. It's just what it is. But however, if you were an artist in LA, not just in LA, but if you're an artist out there, you should just work with someone who knows the industry now. Don't use the old tactics. Yeah. How these dudes are, because they're really failing. And I know the dudes in the comments are like, he just hating because that's his dad. Like, nah, nigga, like that Snoop and Dre album collab flopped. Nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and y'all, there has to be some type of something that's gonna bring back the West Coast. Because the West Coast was at top at least 10 years ago, at least when Ty Dolla, YG, DJ Mustard. Yeah, we got Kendrick now benefiting off the beat with Drake. But like there's so much talent that we shouldn't be like limited to being like, oh, we're just lowriders and G-Funk. Like, come on, bro. We got real artists out here, Yeah. So they label us just how they want to label us. They only think that all of our celebrities is only Ray J and other fallen.
Ray J? Man, hell to the knees all. Ray J ain't represent
off niggas.
The 90s were about being loud and flashy. Why is the new moguls of 2026 choosing to stay quiet, focus on family, and keep their business off the clout radar?
I think that's a great question. I think those guys are just they already lived life, you know, they already had their money and seen how people do to get to a certain level or want their life. So they just have to protect what they really value, because there's a new artist every day, there's a new song every day. So you go back to your core values, what you care about most and protect.
Damn.
Yeah. And
There's a massive wave of people reclaiming their Aboriginal or indigenous roots. Do you believe that understanding the true history is the only way the community to achieve real sovereignty?
I think so. You know, it's a form of, if you know who you are, where you come from, you have a better foundation, who you are, you know, how to live. But that's gonna be hard. You know, America is man-made, it's rewritten. Like Christopher Columbus came here and found people. It's like, I discovered America. So it's just like, okay, you gotta do that on your own research. So
Yes.
Have you done your research? Have you seen that? Are your family roots?
Well, that's just it. You have to do your own research. If you're waiting for this school system to teach you the true history of the world, of this nation, then you're going to be left in the cold. They're trying to erase history. They don't want you to know history. They do not want you to know your own history. They have never wanted you to know your own history. It was illegal to learn your own history. You have to learn it on your own.
Were they slaves or were they indigenous of America?
I think it's a little bit of both. My mom, you know, from the Central America area, you know, El Salvador type, and my dad, I think he had slaves and slave owners because he part white. And my grandmother was, you know, white, and like they from Mississippi.
Okay.
So they probably had slaves. They probably was the slave owners. So this is like, damn. The last name is Knight, so I don't know if that's a. I don't really sound too African, you know, or who knows.
What is the most?
Suge certainly would not have been a slave owner. Maybe light, just like this guy here, Lil Suge. He wouldn't be a slave owner. No, man. No way. One drop of black blood, you're done.
Powerful piece of wisdom your father has passed down to you to help you navigate through life?
I think it was instilling to not be money hungry, but I'll think a better word. I think it's just like patience, man, you know, or doing things. I'm not too sure. Like it's hard to put it in one word, because how we operate is just like we patient, we do things our own, and we want the best. So I think wanting the best for yourself, it's like self-love. I think self-love is like the best way to put it. Because when you want the best for yourself, you're not putting yourself in a situation where it's like you're holding yourself out, you're desperate, and you just think things through. So that's carried me for so long. So,
do you feel that the public is finally starting to understand your father's perspective, or is the villain narrative too strong to break?
I believe that the people who understand his perspective is growing. That number is growing. But there's always going to be that person who has the opposite perspective. It's never going to be just like, oh, we all believe that Suge's a good guy now. No, there's going to be Suge Knight was a good guy, Suge Knight was a bad guy, and you got people in the middle. So it just depends.
And I think the podcast your dad had.
Well, yeah, he certainly has a reputation. And he's just, I would say that's spot on from little Suge. Suge J. Knight, here's his name. I believe he's spot on that, well, some individuals believe that his father was good. Some individuals believe that his father was bad, and some are in the middle. They are not going to say one way or another. You know, he was good and bad. We all have some of that within us. But what say you as the type of individual that you believe Suge Knight was? I mean, I don't know. I'm not here to judge anyone. He is in prison for, I saw that videotape, and there was a lot going on with him in the industry, but this is just how it was back then. He was trying to establish himself, a member. He was involved in some stuff, but many people have been. Some publicized, some not.
Respect from a lot of people because we finally got to hear a more educated and wise Suge, and really we kind of understood him in
I can see that.
on a deeper level, and I think it's got a lot of respect.
Yeah, I can see that because people they formed this idea of Suge just based off that, like the Source Awards speech. Like, oh, he's just like this because what we heard. Like, all up in the videos, you go into the red room, we gonna fuck you up. You better have my money, you owe. Like, you formulate who you think this person is. Not saying that he's not one of those things. Like, he's done some things that's like Suge. But when he started speaking on that, like his collect calls, or even when he came and did a few calls on my show, the Love and Listing show, it humanized him and showed him like, oh, this is him as a father. Oh, this is him as a big homie. Like the collect calls, I feel a lot of people connected with him because they're like, wow, Suge sounds like a big homie of mine or like a big brother of mine. Like he has a lot of wisdom. He's not just spewing shit.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what you got.
That's what you
like. A lot of wisdom.
Right. Yeah. And that's what you go back to see what's the difference between Suge and Puff. Suge is very secure. So that's the difference between them. Very secure. Puff was very insecure because he damn near dated everybody's girl after they was dating him. He wanted to make sure he was the only one having money. He pretty much didn't want nobody to outshine him. He always wanted to be on the track. He couldn't just be like the boss and the artist. He had to be both. He couldn't just separate the two. And that was a big thing at that time. So I think that's what that's one of our biggest problems today is people not being secure. They're having too many insecurities.
Yeah. And what's so great is I think people were not buying it now. It was that we're starting to see that legacy media or the mainstream, the ones that are always pointing their finger at somebody's bad, we're starting to see these fuckers in the land, you know what I mean? So, now Suge's perspective, we can almost understand everything that we heard throughout the 30 years may not be all the way true or just extra.
That may be very true about Puff. When he says Puff, he's talking about P. Diddy, of course, saying that essentially he was selfish. Many people have said this and didn't want anyone to outshine him, get money with him, have as much money as him, as much fame as him, wanted everyone's girl. Even though he's on one side of the coast and Suge was on another, apparently there was still immense competition there.
Exaggerated for this guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But come on now. We knew that he was talking about, the example. We knew he was talking about Puff at that Source Awards. They came out with a lie and said he was talking about Jermaine Dupri. Like, nigga, come on, bro. Jermaine Dupri wasn't dancing in the videos. Jermaine Dupri is a great producer too, as well. But just like, come on.
Yeah, he was.
Like, that was.
Yeah, he was. Jermaine Dupri was back there dancing too. Dancing on the videos with Criss Cross and all that. Make you jump. He was doing all that, man.
In the talks of it, y'all knew who it was.
But he was talking about.
It really killed me when I heard
Puff.
Watching that documentary. It could be alleged, but the fact that they said Craig Mack was starving for some bread, and it's like, then he pulled out water cash, be like, count it. I'll just give you 100. I'll see you later, my nigga. That was bad boy. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, what's up with that? And if you think about it, look at all of Biggie's pictures. He's really sad. He's really angry. He's not happy. Now look at Tupac pictures. That nigga all like West Side, nigga jewelry. We good. We eating. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you got to just look back at what was put out there. I'm not making any crazy assumptions. I'm just like, hell, we got the opportunity to talk about the truth. Why not? Let's do it.
Now, when is your father's release date, or is he up for parole?
I think that'll be pretty close, like in the 2030s, maybe even less time than that.
Okay.
So, you know,
2030.
Because you just said 15 years. Like, damn, I didn't realize it's been
it's been 15 years,
it's
bro.
been a crazy
Yeah.
long time.
For sure, yeah. It's over
He damn
10.
near time. Yeah, he damn near time served. I
Time
mean.
served, that's what I'm saying. If
Yeah.
it's just manslaughter, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that's why it's deeper than just a Suge and Biggie type situation. There's different entities and different people who wants to protect themselves and, you know, who may take the fall for why they got the results.
I mean, people know your dad is got railroad,
For sure.
you know, and I don't understand why they're doing it because he ain't saying nothing, but
Well, you know, it is what it is. Like, you piss certain people off, you do certain things wrong, you know, you do certain things right. You piss certain people off, they come after you. And, you know, they want to take after your bread if you're a powerful black man and you got a voice out here.
and you hit it when you do something right.
You do something right. When you do something right, but it's wrong in their eyes, that's what
They're
I'm saying.
coming after you.
They coming after
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right. A good conversation, good talk between them two. Good interview. They had more to say. That's just a clip of it. He had more to say. Again, that's Suge J. Knight, Suge Knight's son, also known as Little Suge. And you heard him. He said Snoop Doggy Dogg is a slime ball and a biatch. That he ain't about that life, that he doesn't have respect in the real world, in the street, or any of that stuff, that he's just a commercial type figure, and that he's done absolutely nothing with Death Row since 2020. And yet the West Coast has talented artists, and these individuals are not getting any shine whatsoever. So essentially, they have turned on Snoop Dogg. And he went on, as we heard, speak about P. Diddy and P. Diddy's insecurities. And again, you know, seems to be a well-spoken individual. But yeah, so, whoa, Suge Knight is on his way home soon. 2030. This is, of course, 2026. Suge Knight has, and he said it could be before then. Yeah, I guess he had got whatever. He's supposed to be doing 15 years. I was in the county jail with Suge Knight in 2000. It had to have been 2015. We used to be down there in the lawyers' visiting area together. So that's 11 years ago. Yep. Yeah, he's on his way out. I hadn't even thought about that. Just seemed like he still got a long time, or like they gonna be in there forever, sort of thing. Suge, like, because he's been in there, you know. Man, he's on his way home in a few years, couple years. Okay, there you have it. Again, Wild Moguls TV Perspective. Shout out to those. Shout out to them. Go subscribe. Check them out. Little Suge Knight right there. Insightful. If you want more of what he had to say in this interview, let me know and I'll bring you up part 2. Stay safe and stay free, people.